Where's our big banner?
Oh, no.
Cool. Monday. Ba-da, ba-da-da. What up, y'all? Welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very happy, rainy, makes me want to take a nap Monday morning to you. I am Rob Brown. On the other side of the glass from me, the professor of perfection, the content cash cow, the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate, the man in charge of the broadcast, the great one, Lonzo, is here. What up, Zoe?
So, someone stole our banner.
Someone done stole our banner.
Someone stole our banner. I have a blank wall behind me. I have an idea where it may have went, or someone swiped it. It's one or the other. We do have an event coming up at the end of the week, and possibly they're decorating for the event.
Since your boys are going to be live on location for the first time on Friday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to put something back there. I got an idea.
Take McGuire over there.
No, I got an idea.
Oh, okay. Live in location on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be this Friday at Hall of Fame Sports Grill in Greenville on Wade Hampton Boulevard. They don't usually open till 11, but your boys will be there starting at 9. We'll be going to noon, as we are wont to do sometimes. And you can come by and say hi. Now, we have not been on location with this show, I don't think, since I moved here. Have we?
You and I together, definitely no.
You and I together definitely have not. I was on location at Prisma Children's Hospital the week. Actually, it was the week that I moved here, which was well over 2 years ago. And I don't believe this show has been on location since then. So this Friday would be a good day to come out. Lonzo and I will both be there. I think we got T2 coming in to run the show.
We do.
We got T2 coming in to run the show from here so that Lonzo can be let out of the cage and off the leash a little bit. Friday morning, your only plans should be to come to Hall of Fame Sports Grill on Wade Hampton in Greenville and come hang out with me and Zoe. Because I got to tell you, we're off the air at noon. The restaurant will be open at that point. And there is a very solid chance your boy's going to be tucking in to some chicken wings and a brewski when we get off the air. Come on by and say hello. Friday morning. We go live at 9. Come on by for your lunch break. Hang out with us. We'd love to see you. Lonzo will give you a big old fat hug. He's a great hugger, man. He's a bear. He's a great hugger. And there's nothing more he loves than hugging people he doesn't know. So come ask for a Zoe hug. I'll shake your hand. Love to see you guys Friday morning. Can't wait. Can't wait. Like Bart Scott, can't wait.
You come at me with a hug, chances are you're getting suplexed. That's all I'm saying.
No, our listeners deserve better, Alonzo. If our listeners want a hug, I can't not laugh. I can't not laugh.
I think they would appreciate a suplex.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a weekend it was in sports. The NBA playoffs are underway. Play-in tournaments concluded on Friday evening. Our playoff events started on Saturday. Got a handful of series going on both sides, and we got a full breakdown of those games for you because, yes, I watched a significant amount of basketball this weekend. NASCAR turned some circles on dirt at Bristol, and what made it really interesting was not that they raced on dirt. They raced on Tennessee red clay. What was interesting about the race was that it rained off and on leading up to the race, It rained during the race, so they raced less on dirt, more on mud. And it led to a very chaotic finish. Kyle Busch, Rowdy, getting his first dub of this season. He was in third, and the top two cars spun out as they came out of turn 2. Kyle took advantage, ran right through the middle of him, picks up the checkered flag. We're going to break that down. USFL got going this weekend. And I got to tell you, I was talking with our buddy Lee from WORD in the hallway before the show started. And he said, what do you think of the USFL? And here are my thoughts. First off, I'd be curious to know, how many of you guys took time to watch USFL? Did you catch any of it, Zoe?
UFC was on at the same time when I got home after the show, so I watched UFC.
It was on like 8 hours Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, well,
There were like 16 hours of USL football.
Didn't
Don't
know-
give me one event stopped you.
I didn't know it was on Sunday. Saturday, a little busy. Sunday, I watched basketball for the most part.
Fair enough. It is NBA playoffs. USFL, I put some time in. And here was the takeaway for me. Because the only question that matters right now is it viable, right? Is it viable? Is it something that we think can stick around for a while? Is there a chance we're going to be watching USFL for the next 2 or 3 seasons if the rest of this won? Here was the takeaway I had for you. The football was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good football. Of course, it wasn't NFL caliber. It wasn't going to be. It's not the NFL. But it was pretty good football. As far as spring leagues we have seen in the past go, we have seen dramatically worse. Dramatically worse. So, my question is, now that you know the football is decent, does that make you more likely to tune in? Here's where the fallback happens. Here's what the drawback was. The entertainment value, not there like it is with the NFL. They didn't give you the entertainment value you get on a Sunday morning. There's a lot of guys that were playing, that were doing some big. I'll give you an example. I checked in for a little while as and I'm a lifelong fan, New Orleans Breakers. Which, by the way, I don't really get that name, right? I mean, like they're playing it off of Lake Pontchartrain, I guess. But I don't really get the name.
Oh, so breakers as in waves.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just saying New Orleans isn't exactly an oceanfront community.
So it's not breakdancing.
No.
Okay, because that's what I thought it was. Okay.
No, it's waves. Like their logo is a dark blue, and then actually their logo is the same colors as the Fan Upstate logo, which works out well for me. But their logo is a wave on the side of the helmet with the little seagull in front of it. I watched a little bit of New Orleans taking on Philly. And the football was pretty good. But as a guy who, you know, the excitement, part of the excitement for the older folks that remember the OG USFL is that they used the OG USFL names and logos, right? So you got some vintage aspect there. But I don't know these players, right? I don't know these players. I'm not super familiar. I mean, there's a few I vaguely remember from their college days. But I don't really know these players that well. And they did a really poor job of introducing them. There wasn't a lot of, here's why you should invest in this guy. And I told Lee Rogers, I said, the example that I give when I'm trying to figure out if a sporting event can or will be successful is my lady friend / my mom. Those are two different people. Stop it. Stop it. My lady friend and my mom. Nope, that doesn't help. One person who is my girlfriend, the other person who is my mother, and are definitely two separate people. Stop it, person texting me already. I get it. I screwed up. Leave me alone. Anyway, when I get to the house at night, My girlfriend, who is my age and only my girlfriend and not my mother, you weirdos, she knows I'm going to watch sports, right? She knows that nighttime is sports time. And for the most part, she's on board. Now, she may not be as into the games as I am. Last night, got home. We went out last night to watch the Braves lose to the Padres 2-1, split that series with them. We got to the house, and I'm like, all right, Pelicans Suns. Pels stormed back against the Clippers. Maybe they put on a second half show against the Suns. I suspect they're going to get swept in that series, but let me see if they can make at least the games competitive. Tune in. She's watching. She's good with it. She's not like invested in the game, right? If you ask her today, name me a Pelicans player, she might know Brandon Ingram, but only because I say out loud a couple times, damn, Brandon Ingram. Maybe. What she watches for is the entertainment value of it, right? She watches for the entertainment value of it. She enjoys when she is entertained by the sport. She wants to know the players. She wants to know the stories. The USFL didn't really give her anything to be invested in, right? If you like good football, the USFL was good. It was fine. You got decent football out of the deal. Again, not NFL caliber, but it's not an NFL. I was watching for good football. I got it. If you watch for the entertainment value of it, right? If you watch to be entertained, if you watch to find out what players you like and who you want to invest in and see the crowd shots and see the fireworks and catch the music into and out of, USFL didn't really put that on the table. Now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I did hear DA this morning on the DA show 6 to 9 right here on the Fan Upstate. I did hear DA mention that the numbers for USFL were okay. Their primetime game on Saturday night, which was simulcast on Fox and NBC, got about 3 million people to turn in, which is not a bad number. 3 mil is not a bad showing. In fact, if DA is correct, and I'll trust him on this one, if DA is correct, 3 million people is a solid chunk of change better than watched Nuggets Warriors game 1 on Saturday night. You got more people watching USFL games than you did watching game 1 of what I think could be a very interesting series, or at least it would have been, but the Nuggets could get nothing going on Saturday. It was good football. It was good football, but it was not necessarily entertaining if you are watching for anything outside of football. So, in the past, spring leagues have had a noticeable drop-off from week 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3. USFL, I think, did a good job, Lonzo, of introducing themselves. Hello, we're the United States Football League. Our games are on these channels. They are at these times, and they start this weekend. And that's great. I don't think they did a good job convincing casual football fans why they should watch on Easter weekend. Now, I don't know if it being Easter weekend is a part of the reason that the numbers were good. Certainly far from what they could have been, but good, right? A lot of people travel. A lot of people have family visiting. Certainly on Easter Sunday, a lot of people are a little bit busy. with Easter dinner and church and whatever else they got going on. So the football's not a primary concern. We have seen the Thanksgiving numbers and Christmas numbers for college football, the NBA, the NFL, and those numbers are consistent and good. But the USFL doesn't have the legacy or legitimacy that the biggest pro and college rankings do, to where people go, yeah, I know it's Christmas night, but the NBA's got really good games on. Yeah, we know it's Thanksgiving Day, but there's 3 really, really good NFL games on. And I'm going to watch them. I don't think the USFL did a good job of explaining to people what the draw is outside of, hey, there's not football on, but now there is. Watch it. If you just want to watch good football, USFL's got you. It was good football. From an entertainment angle, I don't think it was there. They didn't give me a reason to invest in players. They didn't give me a good reason to invest in teams. And on top of that, and while this is exciting for me, because we're 4 hours from Birmingham, 3.5? All of the games are being played at one stadium in Birmingham. That's not the end of the world. But when you're getting the same look, when you're seeing the same stadium, when you're seeing the same fans, when the scenery doesn't change, it can be a bit monotonous, right? When the only things that are changing are the colors on the helmets of the guys out there, it can be a bit monotonous. When the last iteration of the XFL was going, one of the reasons it was doing okay was because of the fact that we were watching in real time the cultures of these different teams building up alongside of their team, right? We were watching the different teams' cultures build up. We were watching St. Louis, and we saw the beer snake, where everybody in the stadium would drink a beer and then hand the cup over to that guy who was stacking 100,000 cups deep top to bottom. And it was just fun. Between plays, they'd turn the camera up into the stands, and you would see the blues and the reds and the greens and the yellows of the fans. You would hear the drums or see the smoke and the flares, whatever the fans were doing to build up the traditions, to build up the culture around their football team. USFL did not have that, being stationed in Birmingham. And on top of that, Birmingham's not a metropolis, right? It's a good city, and it's a good size city. But my question's going to be 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks into the USFL season. Are the Birminghamians that showed up for the first weekend of games, are they still going to go, right? Every local professional sports team will tell you the hardest thing that they have to deal with when their tickets, when their revenue, unlike the NFL, unlike the NBA, unlike golf, unlike NASCAR, the biggest of the big sports, those sports revenue is not generated by ticket sales. It's not driven by ticket sales. It's driven by television. The USFL's got their TV contract, and it's probably in good shape. But the hardest thing that anybody at a local level will tell you is, how do you keep fans invested from the start of the season until the end? The answer is winning, but how do you keep people that are showing up 5, 6, 7K strong early in the season, 13 weeks into the season, how do you keep them still showing up? Well, Birmingham's interesting. They've got one team in the USFL, but when Philly is playing New Jersey in 2 weeks, how do you get people in Birmingham to show up and make it look good on TV? We, as consuming public, you can say that you're not, but we all are. We are compelled to do or not do things based on the reaction of other people. So when you tune into an event and you see 100K packed into the stands, you are more likely to stick around and watch that event than you are if you tune into an event and see empty bleachers. So how does the USFL make itself more compelling to where a guy like Lonzo, 3 weeks into the season, doesn't go, I didn't know there was football on Sunday? How do you get folks at home to go, yeah, New Orleans is playing New Jersey on Sunday, and I want to take time for that? If you're a casual, if you're a football fan like me, you put on a good football game. You get people good competitive football to watch that. But how do you get my girlfriend to stick on and go, yeah, I'll watch this with you, and not be bored as hell through it, so that I don't have to change the channel to Dateline at some point? The answer is figure out how to make it more entertaining. I don't know if it's more cheerleaders. I don't know if it's more fans in the stands. I don't know if it's giving those fans stuff to do that you can then film. It was a good start. Now we'll see if that 3 million number Saturday night for the USFL stays consistent. If it does, cool. If not, we'll see. All right, let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, NBA playoffs are underway. Started Saturday evening. Had another 4 games last night. We'll take a look at all the game ones from around the NBA. Who showed the sign that they're going to have a run to a title? Break that down. I got some thoughts. Coming up later in the show. South Carolina spring game, Garnet and Black, took place on Saturday night. I got a handful of takeaways from that I'll break down. And coming up at 10:30 this morning, Charlotte FC taking on the Greenville Triumph here in the Ville. We got an interview from Charlotte to talk with coming up at 10:30. Stick around, don't go anywhere. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Charisma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen on the stream, hello, good morning, happy Monday. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? All right, let's see. Skrilla, welcome in, Bugoy, up the Triumph, up the bits. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Greenville Swamp Rabbits made the playoffs, came from last in the conference. Stormed back over the back 41, make the playoffs. Love to see it. Talk about that later that week. Yeah, we don't know where the fan poster went, Keegan. We walked in here this morning and it was gone. We didn't even notice till we turned on the stream. Now, we are on location on Friday, and we have a big station volunteer event Friday that they are using to promote the fan. So I suspect one of our promo guys came up and took it to take it out on and get it all set up for that, but I don't know for sure. How many hot tamale peeps were consumed this weekend? Do they make hot tamale peeps?
Yes, it was a taste test for us.
How are they?
They are the best peeps ever created by man, which I did not think was going to be.
Are you being sincere right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Really? 'Cause I love a peep.
So I'm not a peeps guy, but I saw them when we went to the grocery store. The full case, shelves are wiped. No one touched them.
Really?
And I'm like, okay, I need that for the pulse. So I got one, and I gave a sleeve of 5 to Cameron, a sleeve of 5 to me. And so in the last break, we were going to see how many we could, how many we could put in our mouth at once.
Gotcha.
So I cheated, by the way. Cameron thought I won, but it wasn't a competition. So I went with 3.
Lonzo, everything
Yeah,
is
I know.
a competition.
I know. So he's like, man, I won that. It's like, yeah, you won because I cheated. But here's why I cheated. I put in 3. 3 was max but then they were so soft, you could just kind of. So I was able to make room by swallowing part of what was already in my mouth and then shoving the other 2 in. And after first taste, I was like, oh my God, these are
So
good.
you're bearing the lead here. Were they good?
Yes, they were absolutely good.
Were they spicy? I mean, was there cake to
I mean, they're hot tamale, and so
Right.
you think it was a spicy cinnamon, not a tiered.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because Owen was working because Tim was off, and I told Owen, okay, here's what happens. If we can't talk, I'm just going to hand you the stuff I have printed,
Start reading.
and you finish the show, which I think he kind of wanted to happen,
Yeah.
but it didn't, and the bit was ruined because they were so good. Yeah.
Keegan says, Jeff Fisher was super fun to watch. I like the different camera angles and the player interviews on the sideline. So beautiful.
It's not big enough,
Can't
though.
see it, but
Oh, that sucks.
I like it. Are you gonna make no? Just put all the letters up there.
I was going to.
Vanna White style.
I was going to do it one at a
Build it
time,
throughout the show.
starting with that, which is kind of funny, but you
I
can't
ruined
see
the
it.
joke.
You can't see it. Maybe if I colored it in.
I'll tell you what I really like, Keegan, as a football dude. That helmet cam was cool, right? That helmet cam was good. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but ESPN just ran an ad for SportsCenter that featured Jeff Goldblum and a raptor from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to see that. I saw that it was trending like over the weekend. But it's Goldblum, so it's got to be awesome.
It's going to be great, of course. The Rob Brown Show's back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. Be a part of the show. Phone lines are open for you at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. You can also get at us on the Preferred Home Services text line. Preferred Home Services text line is 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, and we will read them on the air. You can also tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, and at ESPN Upstate. And, of course, join us on the live stream. Go to Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate, Twitter.com/TheFanUpstate, and go to my YouTube channel, The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. Like and subscribe to that channel. You can watch the show live every single day and get in behind the scenes. I was introduced during the break to the reality we live in that hot tamale peeps exist. Now, I'm a peeps guy. Don't get me wrong. Hashtag Team Peeps. I think peeps are an undervalued, underappreciated Easter commodity. I love that so many people don't like peeps because it means more for me, but hot tamale peeps.
All right, so I'm not a fan or a hater. You know, if they're in my basket, I'll probably eat them, but I'm not seeking them out. But I was in the grocery store. They're on the top shelf. I don't know if there's just a lot of short people who couldn't reach them, but there was a full case of hot tamale peeps. I went to get them, and my wife was like, "Why?" I'm really loud, and everybody in the store looked at her. I looked at her as like, she's like, "Oh, taste test." Like, yeah. I mean, because hot tamale, what do you think? You think they're going to be, have you had hot tamale candies? Because that's what it is. It's and it says fierce on the package. So I'm thinking, okay, you open it up, the cinnamon, the hot cinnamon smell of it smells so hot. It's like, okay, there's no way we can get through this.
So it's cinnamon.
Yeah.
That's not tamale.
Yeah, but all right, it smells like cinnamon to me. All right, it's probably not. But cinnamon is hot. It is. It's a hotter spice. It's not. It's like your lame hot spice, but it's still a hot spice.
I like cinnamon, with one exception, which is Fireball. The people who made Fireball should be shot into the surface of the sun.
Okay, so why would they put cinnamon in Fireball if it wasn't hot?
Listen, okay. In fairness, I understand my palate, being a kid that grew up in a New Orleans family, is a bit skewed compared to the normal.
All right, there's no Scovilles on this thing. All right, but it smelled pretty.
Then it's not spicy.
It smelled pretty hot if you were to stuff a bunch in your mouth. There's been marshmallow challenges all over the place. DA did one like a couple weeks ago that I heard. So I just we do this stuff on occasion because we're a radio show and you're supposed to do stunts. It's there's a law to it somewhere. So
you know what we are? We're the FTR of radio. No gimmicks, no stunts. We just come in here and punch you in the mouth with great radio. Like what we're doing right now. All right,
as opposed to what I do on Saturday. So anyway, the peeps are very, very good. They are the best peeps I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay.
And, you know, to each his own and what their tastes are, but I think you would really enjoy them.
Well, I am curious. I want to try them. However, yesterday, and I'm only saying this because I know now she's listening because she's texting me about this. Yesterday evening, in front of a group of mutual friends, the lady friend told me she did not believe that I could drop 40 pounds by football season. And the best way to get me to do a thing is tell me publicly in front of other people you can't do that thing.
All right, you absolutely could do that. There's no doubt in my mind that you could do that.
Oh, listen, I don't need more motivation. That was all I needed. So I had my send-off dinner last night.
I'm your support group.
I appreciate it. I had my send-off dinner last night. I had some hot chicken and French fries. All right, it was fun. I had a couple of beers. It was a good send-off dinner. Now I got 40 pounds to go between me and September because she told me I can't. And as Jordan said, I took that personally. So I'm gonna have to.
By the way, the peeps for an entire for an entire package, I think the calorie count was only 170.
Can't do it.
But the problem is the sugar content was probably pretty high because they're basically just sugar.
Marshmallows rolled in sugar.
Yeah, they are.
All right, Texture says, fan, wait, just tuned in. Why does Rob like someone named Cinnamon? What really happened this weekend? Good text. Good text.
Are you going to sing I'm in love with the cinnamon girl?
I'm in love with the stripper. Nope. Fan, leave it to Liberob to love limp bacon and peeps. Starting to think he's a little SAWFT soft.
Speaking of soft, the peeps were, would you eat peeps wrapped in bacon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Everything is made better than by bacon.
That would make that other show a little irpy.
Texter says, they need to get people involved in the USFL player stories. There are a lot of players overcoming a lot for their chance to play. I will tell you, I think that is one solution, right? Give me a reason to invest in the players. I've got a reason to invest in a team, yeah? Like, I'm invested in my team. I got a team. There's no South Carolina-affiliated teams, right? Like, I'm a New Orleans kid. I got my New Orleans Breakers. I'm in. There's no South Carolina-affiliated team. How do you get the people in Greenville, South Carolina to tune into the USFL? Good football is a great start, and they did that. I'll tell you one thing else they did, and Keegan brought it up on the live stream a minute ago. One other thing that they did was they introduced two really, really, really cool camera angles that I have not seen out of the NFL. The first is they did a true, genuine helmet cam. Now, we've seen helmet cams in the past, but they've usually been used in, like, exhibition games and all-star challenges and whatnot. USFL did an actual helmet cam, right? And the interesting thing about the helmet, you ever watch, like, baseball helmet cams, right? Like, you get the ump helmet cam, but the camera is stuck up on top of the helmet, so you don't really get a true perspective of what that person is seeing because they're adding 12 inches, so you're watching a 6-foot angle at 7 feet above it. This helmet, the cam is built into the little piece of helmet right next to the face mask, so you are getting eyes on exactly what the running back is seeing. They showed a couple.
There was a football game that did this, and I don't remember which one it was.
The ESPN video game a number of years ago built in a helmet cam mode, and so you could play from the perspective. They even put the face mask in front of that cam.
Which was really cool.
It was interesting, but a lot of people got turned off to it because playing football from a first-person perspective is dramatically harder than a third-person perspective, which a lot of people learned. This was cool because they would show the play develop from the running back's point of view. So you'd see him look down to take the ball and look up, and then you could actually read what a running back would see across the line of scrimmage. I thought that was great. The other thing...
Did they show him getting killed by a defensive lineman? Okay,
yeah.
All right.
They showed it all the way through the hit, and it was cool. The other thing that they showed that I thought was unique was they had an actual drone cam, right? They actually had a drone cam. And the drone cam would be behind the quarterback. It would go up. So you actually got to see the football perspective of what you see when you play Madden. And I think that's a really good way, because when you talk about trying to get young people invested in the game, right? What better way to do it than to let them watch football the way that they grew up watching football, which is not the 50-yard line sideline angle looking down on the field. How did people my age grow up with football? Madden, right? We all grew up with Madden. We all grew up watching our football from 30 yards up over the field behind the quarterback looking towards the defense. So give me that angle. Fly that drone up a little bit. Show me that angle. Let us watch the play develop from that angle. Those are the things that are unique and different. I told you the thing going into this that USFL had over the XFL and everything else was that the USFL's got the partnership with the NFL to effectively be used as a beaker, right? To be used as a petri dish for the NFL to test different things. I'll tell you right now, helmet cam, drone cam, big winners. Big winners. Let us watch football from angles and perspectives we've never gotten before, right? We've gotten quasi-field cams in the past. Let me see what the quarterback sees, right? It's really easy to judge a quarterback for missing a receiver when the camera is on the 50-yard line looking down from the second bowl of the stadium. If a quarterback misses a wide receiver, put me in his helmet. Let me see why. Because it's one thing to see him miss a receiver. It's another thing if you see him pick up, look over that way, and between him and the receiver is a defensive lineman that's got both hands up and is physically blocking where that receiver is. Now I understand it. Those type of perspectives are going to work. Those types of perspectives can change the way we view football games, and I think that's big. All right, let me take a break. When we come back, Boston took on the Brooklyn Nets in game 1 out in the East, 2 seed, 7 seed. And the Boston Celtics won on a wild final possession. But what really got me is that Kyrie Irving in game was running down the court, giving the old number 11 salute to Boston fans.
Hey, man, you don't need to do that to me. What did I do?
Yeah, that's what the Boston fans said too. Then Kyrie said after the game why he did it, and it entertained me. And it's going to catch Lonzo's attention too. You'll hear why when we come back. Rob, Lonzo, this is the Fan Upstate.
Tomorrow night, 7:30 tip-off from Miami. NHL tonight, the Hurricanes visit the Coyotes. Carolina winless in 2. They're tied with the Rangers for the top spot in the Metropolitan Division, each team with 104 points. On the dirt track at Bristol Motor Speedway, Kyle Busch took the checkered flag. Tyler Reddick finished second, Joey Logano third. Baseball Sunday, the Padres beat the Braves 2-1. Baltimore with a 5-0 shutout over the Yankees. The Red Sox beat the Twins 8-1. The Mets with a 5-0 win over the Diamondbacks. The Marlins pounded the Phillies 11-3. The Pirates battled back to beat the Nationals 5-3. Download the Odyssey app and search the Fan Upstate. Then listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders, and that's your Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
All right, let's see. Steven says, what's your email? There is a pic of said Pete challenge. Oh, okay. Rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. I'm going to need it. Rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. Tommy says, drop in 40 by September. Go to YouTube and pull up 8-minute abs as well as no beer or fried foods. Yeah, I said my farewell to beer last night, as a matter of fact. We went out to Yeehaw Brewing, which if you ever come visit, Tommy, I will take you to. It's a phenomenal. You'll love it. But we went to Yeehaw Brewing. I had my final send-off of some good Nashville hot chicken and some fries. I had a couple of delicious beers, and alcohol has taken its send-off for a couple of months.
Yay, sobriety!
Oh, it's not sobriety. It's fatness. I'm not doing it because I want to.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Get Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I made around $200.
Wow, well, there you have it. Stop paying
All right, so it's not showing up real well, but with our budget and everything,
cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder, Radio News Network. Download
who knows? Maybe we have a black marker or a red marker or something around here somewhere.
promo code EASY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code EASY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code EASY.
Hi, it's Bobby Mack for my friends at 1 Hour Heating and Air of Greenville. Listen to what Stacy from Central will say. I've worked with 1 Hour for over 2 years. From the diagnosis and installing of new units to the maintenance, I've been so pleased. A 1 Hour crew is prompt, efficient, and courteous. I'll continue to use and recommend 1 Hour Heating and Air, serving the upstate more than 20 years.
It also shows you
On time of heating.
host side, producer side, host side, producer side.
855 or on time.
Introducing Venture X, Capital One's new travel card for people always asking,
Where next?
you earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on
Yeah, no, it's Keegan's over there dropping weight like a madman. I got to get my fat behind back in the gym is what I need to do. I've been using the hell up out the air fryer. I'm big team air fryer now.
And now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test for high risk of severe COVID-19. Act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home.
I was looking at what Trade has put up there.
When symptoms begin.
I actually have DDP Yoga. Like,
Do
I
you?
have yeah, I bought
I've been
it, I bought it
told
like
that
3
it's.
years ago.
It's been told it's really good. It's definitely helped some people for sure.
As soon as it comes through, Steven, I'll go pull it up. Yeah, I bought DDP Yoga when I lived in Jacksonville because I was not in a great place mentally, and I heard good things about it. I did it for about a month, and it was interesting. I have zero flexibility remaining from my high school days, though, so it took some getting used to. Dexter says, fan, Rob, I'm just now tuning in. Have you gotten to the Gamecock spring game yet? I have not, and I will to open up the next hour. Cannot wait. Also in the next hour, coming up at just after 10:30, Bobby Bel-Air is the technical director of the Charlotte FC club. He'll be joining us. He is also a Clemson soccer alum, so we will talk some football from the Charlotte FC perspective because on Wednesday night, there's a party, ladies and gentlemen. MLS side Charlotte FC coming down to little old Greenville to take on our own beloved Greenville Triumph in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. That is going to be a doozy of an event right here in the upstate. I believe it's now sold out. So if you want a ticket now, I mean, we tried to warn y'all. We tried to tell you. If you didn't listen, it's on you. Now you got to know somebody who knows somebody if you want to get in the door.
Will this be televised? Like
Yes,
on Plus?
ESPN Plus, yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yep, it'll be on the 4-letter plus. National TV, baby. Can't wait. Bobby Bel-Air, technical director of the Charlotte FC, will be joining us to talk a little bit about what that match means for them. I talked to Woody Wilder, who's their PR guy. Talked to him on Friday, and they're excited about it, man. Like they when I talked to Woody, and we were talking, off the air, off the record, off the script, just setting up it. I called him to set up the interview because we're gonna have Bobby Bel-Air on today, and then later on this week we are actually going to have, and I'm not sure which one yet, but a Charlotte FC player joining us to talk about that match from a player perspective, probably Thursday. Either way, was talking to him, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm just kind of interested because, the U.S. Open Cup is the biggest tournament in the Americas. How does Charlotte feel about it? And he's like, dude, we're jacked. Like, we want the Carolinas to be a soccer atmosphere, so to be able to come play soccer in South Carolina is big for us. All right, let me get clip number one. I think we got time to get it in. This is Kyrie Irving during the game against the Boston Celtics, for whom Kyrie used to play before he bailed on them. The fans were giving him the business, as Ron Cherry would say. And he ran up and down the court, giving the old number 11 double one-finger salute to the crowd. He was asked in the press conference afterwards, why? And Kyrie said this.
It's nothing new when I come into this building, what it's going to be like, but it's the same energy they have for me, and I'm going to have the same energy for them. And it's not every fan. I don't want to attack every fan, every Boston fan, but, when people start yelling and you and all this stuff, it's but so much you can take as a competitor. And, we're the ones expected to be docile and be humble and take a humble approach. That's the playoffs. This is what it is. I know what to expect in here, and it's the same energy I'm giving back to them.
You feel like the hostility you get?
There's no hostility, bro. It's basketball.
Well, you were flicking some people off. I'd say that's some hostility.
From what? What point? Are you guessing that that's hostility, or hostility for me is like growing up?
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down the floor flicking people off.
It's the first time you actually caught it because it's a big-time game. I respond in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to focus on that. If you want to ask me questions about the fans, go ask them. Go on the street and ask them questions. All right?
But I'm asking from your perspective, from a basketball perspective, do you feel like the hostility that you get?
It's not
from
hostility,
fans,
bro.
Do you feel like the energy you get from fans in this building brings
Embrace
out
it.
the best from you?
Embrace it. Embrace it. It's the dark side. Embrace it.
It's the dark side. Embrace it. There's your Kyrie clip to put onto the roster. It's the dark side. He said there's no hostility. I had to tell you, I'll occasionally give the old one finger salute to a friend of mine who I love, but it's because in that moment I'm like, dude, I love you. So this is controlled hostility. Kyrie, I got a feeling, dude, you can go, there's no hostility. You don't run up and double finger all of TD Garden at the same time because there's no hostility.
It's wrestling. That's what it is.
That's a show.
Yeah, but still, I kind of agree. I don't agree with what he did, but I get what he's saying. It's not hostility. It's, the fans who got him to do that are probably laughing their butts off about it because they got a reaction out of a player, that's what they're trying to do.
I'm going to give Kyrie credit for one thing he said. It is just basketball. I mean, that's what happens. It's basketball.
Did he grow the hair out just so he could disguise it, though? Because, it's pretty good,
It's just basketball.
Yeah.
It's just basketball. Look, when you bail on a team like Kyrie did the Celtics, you got to expect they're going to give it to you the next time you see them, right? And especially in a game as big as Nets-Celtics. Of course they're going to give it to you. But as I have said to fans, as long as I've been doing this, if you are going to give it to a player, don't be shocked when that player gives it back to you. My favorite videos on the internet right now are the Karens who pull out their cell phone to complain about, this is terrible customer service. The customer's always right. And then a manager gives it right back to Karen. You can't treat me this way. Yes, I can. Blank. Get the blank out. I love watching people who are giving it to somebody else get it back and be shocked by that. Y'all gave it to Kyrie. Of course you gave it to Kyrie. I expected you to give it to Kyrie. I expect you to keep giving it to Kyrie. But you can't be mad at Kyrie for dropping the double one finger salute on all of Boston when Boston is unloading on him. Of course he's going to. I really just played that so that I could hear Kyrie say, "It's the dark side. Embrace it." We're back after this. South Carolina spring game impressions. Next, Bobby Bel-Air of Charlotte FC joining us at 10:35. All of that and more coming up in the next hour of the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
I don't know. Can Kyrie watch Star Wars? Because in Star Wars, planets are depicted as being round.
I have met two true flat earthers in my life. And both of them will tell you that planets aren't real, that they are projections. It's amazing to me.
Where's the projector? I mean, how is it being projected?
Government. End of statement. There's no further explanation.
Pre-spring in South Carolina
HVAC unit stops working, you need a company you can trust. Priority Heating and Air HVAC specialist will give your system a thorough checkup. And if you need a new unit, Priority Heating and Air is a proud distributor of the Coleman line of HVAC systems. So keep your family or business comfortable and give Priority Heating and Air a call today at 591-1847 or find them online, PriorityHeatingandAirHVAC.com. I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick one or two players you think will get a hit. If they do, the streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions
What just got said?
no one has
No, it's something that's trending on Twitter.
And that is?
wherever you get your podcasts and play Beat the Streak for your
I'll save it.
$5.6 million.
Let's see if I have enough guts to say it. If you see it, you'll know right away. But you know.
Just enter your VIN or license plate. Answer a few questions about your car's history and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fake.
Yeah, you don't see it because if you did, you'd already know what it is.
Well, now I have to go looking for it.
Evelyn's marketing consultancy client roster is
There are over 9,000 tweets about it, what it is, but I don't want to click on it because I don't know because there might be pictures. So I'm not gonna. You have to wait another hour or another 2
I
hours.
genuinely don't know what it is.
Good.
Yep. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Does it have to do with something you do in a bed?
Found it. Found it. This promo is top 3 all time. Maybe my favorite.
Same great show, new time. Now 9 to noon, only on the Fan, Upstate.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Give yourself a new morning routine with the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. It's filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. Swing by participating locations for a limited time only. Drinks excludes freezes.
There's an unease in them hills because of the importance of this coming season. Because you know what's on the line. Because you know that you will fall from the perch of the elite of college football if you don't make the playoff.
Apparently, the NFL Network
This year, the feeling will be among many.
on Good Morning Football this morning had Paul Heyman on. So they had all of their hosts come out and cut promos to be judged by Paul Heyman.
I think that's already happened. I think that's old.
No, I'm saying it happened earlier this morning. I did not see that.
No,
or-
I thought it happened like a couple weeks ago. You
Oh,
sure?
really?
Yeah, you sure it's not? I thought it
NFL
happened.
Network just tweeted it out.
I thought it happened before WrestleMania.
Oh no, it did. It did.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So one thing I hate is when
Stuff
you
pops
add
up.
to
Yeah.
a thread. It's like, oh, and also this came from this tweet,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, it's on me for not paying attention, but
I'm only here to help. Definitely not here to get paid.
to get paid.
Yeah, because, you know. It could be fine, though. It could happen. QC connects in the next break.
number 2 of the Rob Brown Show goes now. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you. This is the Fan Upstate. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're you. Be a part of the show. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-FAN-PHONE. You can text us on the Preferred Home Services text line. That is 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN. We'll read them on the air. Tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, at ESPN Upstate. It's the dark side. Embrace it. I love it. Thank you, Kyrie. I got to tell you, Kyrie's probably not a dude I would get along with in real life, but he has provided me endless entertainment. Endless entertainment. He has entertained me with the flat earth takes. He has entertained me with keeping the Nets as a 7 seed in the NBA.
I think you would hang with this guy and have a fun conversation, because if it got into the flat earth conversation, you'd be all in for that.
No, I would get frustrated AF, as the kids say. I would get to levels of Remember last week when you guys were joking about chemtrails, how I had to leave the studio for fresh air? Now imagine that, but it's with a person who actually genuinely believes a thing that is dumb and provably wrong, right? Imagine that. It would be like if I had a conversation with somebody who actually believes chemtrails are real. I'd lose it. That'd be my problem. It is one thing to believe something. It is another thing to believe something when it has been demonstrably proven that you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Here's all the proof of it. No, I still elect to believe that thing. That's when you lose me. Yes, I would enjoy a conversation with Kyrie. If we ever got Kyrie on the show, it'd be like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Starting point guard for your Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, as the Nets fall to Boston in Game 1. Big Game 2 coming up later on this evening. Kyrie, thanks for taking a minute. Great to have you here on the air. First question, and it's one that I'm sure a lot of people have asked you after that game. Why the hell do you believe the earth is flat when it is most definitely not? That'd be the whole interview. Would not go well for him or me. All right, let's get into some South Carolina spring game breakdown, shall we? Spencer Rattler, 8 passes in that game as White drops Garnett 14-10 when it's all said and done. Here's what I'll say about Spencer Rattler, which is obviously the first guy that everybody is looking at, everybody is talking about. Spencer Rattler on the stat sheet ended with 12 yards rushing. However, there were 4 sacks surrendered by his side. And keep in mind, what is interesting about those numbers, Spencer Rattler is a guy who has some mobility, some escapability, as the draft experts will label it. He's got escapability, a guy that, you get a hand on his shoulder pads, it does not mean he's going down. But in the spring game, obviously, as soon as he's touched, they blow the whistle. We have not gotten to see, nor will we until the fall gets here. We have not, nor will we get to see what Spencer Rattler looks like getting out of the face of pressure, right? We will not get to see what he looks like with a hand on him in the pocket until it's time for actual football. That's when we'll get a crack at it. So I don't know what that would have looked like yesterday. However, he had 12 yards rushing because those 4 sacks ate into that rush total, which was better than 12 on 4 carries. Second thing I saw, I think he and Luke Doty both looked pretty solid delivering the football across the middle of the field. Doty had one inside slant that was a play action fake to the slant from, I believe, the left side. That Ddp drop back delivered a good play action fake. The head was back down. One thing that I've seen quarterbacks do in the past that you can tell the difference between a good and a really good quarterback is on the play action, right? You'll see a quarterback who puts the ball out for the play action fake handoff, but the head is still looking down the field, right? The head's still looking down the field. Well, if I'm a linebacker and my responsibility is the middle of the field, whether it's against the rush or the pass, and I see that handoff and I see that quarterback's head stay peeking upfield, I'm sitting down, right? If he does with a handoff, I can still meet the running back at the line of scrimmage because he's got as much ground to get from where he is at a dead start to where I am at a dead start. We should meet about the same time at the line of scrimmage. But if that quarterback turns and he drops his head to look the ball into the pocket of the running back coming out on the play action, now all of a sudden there's a key. There's a trigger for me to attack, right? That's a handoff. I'm going to push up. He did that when he did the excellent play action fake handoff. It drew the linebacker up. The outside wide receiver ran a quick slant. The safety was playing either a deep cover one or cover two, which means that effectively the outside receiver had a one-on-one man coverage with the cornerback playing to the outside. So he hit 10. He broke in. Ball was already on the way from Luke Ddp, who recognized that. Really nice strike over the middle. I was impressed with Luke Ddp.
All right, two things real quick. First of all, thank you for not doing lazy radio. Hey, Clemson had more people at their spring game than Gamecocks. What does that mean? Oh, my gosh. Clemson fans are better than Gamecock fans. Whatever. It's tired. It's old.
I don't know if they did, by the way.
It has,
South Carolina had a decent turnover.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with either. But I have a question for you. So if the announcers, if for some reason the audio went out and you had no idea who was who, and you looked at both of these quarterbacks, who looked like the starter? Because there's not that much of a difference, but for now, Ddp looks a little more solid. And now he's been in the system a little bit longer, and I get all that. But wasn't Ddp going against the number one defense, and then Rattler was going against the number two?
It was split up.
Was it?
It was
Okay.
split up.
All right. I just, you hear all this stuff, and you're right as far as both these guys are running quarterbacks, and Rattler supposedly has the edge on that, and we're not really going to know what we get till we see those packages where he's actually able to run. And when he moved fairly quick. But right now, to me, and it's a spring game, and you can overreact, but right now, Ddp looks like the more solid of the two.
He looks polished, right? He looked more polished. 7 of 10, 85, including a 31-yard touchdown pass. He was not perfect, though, because he did have 2 where Josh Vann was open and he just overthrew him, right? Now, I'll tell you where Rattler did not impress me. Did not impress me getting the ball out to the running backs. Whether it was a design pass to the running back or it was a check down pass. He did not look as polished delivering the football to the running backs as I would have liked him to. And with the running backs, by the way, Marshawn Lloyd looked good.
He did. So did the other guys, too.
Looked good. Looked explosive. Made good cuts. He's coming off the ACL tear. And we've talked about this in the past. ACL tears, MCL tears for running backs are not just, they are a physical injury, but they're not just a physical injury. They are a mental challenge as well, right? Because when you get to a spot and you go to plant and that knee pops. Now, I've never popped an ACL or an MCL. My mom did while we were, when we were wintering in Colorado on a ski vacation in our winter condo, Lonzo.
See, he's using that voice to pretend like it didn't happen that way, but we all know it did.
Oh, no, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah. I had total knee reconstruction on my left knee, and I tore the ACL, the
Let me ask you
MCL,
this.
all that stuff.
My mom said so. We went skiing. We used to go skiing in Colorado as a winter or spring vacation. My mom popped an ACL, and she said, although she did finish the run on one busted knee, Lonzo, because she refused to be brought down on the side of a mountain on one of those little ski carts, you know. Anyway, she said she felt it pop. Right? She said the pain is not immediate because it's kind of a shock there, but she said you can feel it pop and you can feel something go wrong. Was it the same way for you?
Well, for me, my patella was broken into pieces. So it's the knee bone.
Yeah, no, I know what the
knee
kneecap
bone.
is.
So
and that sounds awful.
Yeah. So I saw the X-rays. It's like, this is a piece of your knee. This is a piece of your knee. This is a piece of your knee. We could either give you a fake one, or I could try to put it back together. And me being the normal athlete, could I play again if you put it back together? Yes. Put it back together. So I have a pin and I have a bunch of wire in there. But I think the knee healed faster, even though I was in a cast up to my thigh for 9 months because of all that stuff. And remember, this was in 1987. So, and the knee has lasted that long, by the way. But so technology wasn't what it is right now. But they also had to, all the ligaments stretched, they had to tie them together. And I could feel a knot where they tied the ligaments together till they kind of evened out. Had to learn how to walk again.
Texas says, fan, Lonzo, was that a football game or were you hit with a desk?
It was a football game.
There you go.
I've been able to dodge a desk. They're a little bit bigger. Head to the knee, totally different thing.
So when you have that type of injury, it's not just the physical reconstruction of the ligament or kneecap, right? It's the fact that when you have that injury, when you go to plant and your knee does not do that thing anymore, it's not like you just forget that happened, right? And I'm asking this question not to here, I'll ask it to Lonzo. After you got that reconstruction and spent 9 months in a cast, when you got back to doing physical activity, when you would have cuts and whatnot, did it ever leave your brain that, hey, one time I did this and my knee exploded?
No, and you've heard my knee pop.
Yeah.
And you've seen the look of fear on my face because part of my knee, because of nerve damage, is numb. So it's bled before and I didn't know until I looked down and saw blood. So if I hear a pop in my knee now, I freak out because I'm not sure if that's it, if it's done.
I've talked to people with ACL. Again, I've never done it, but I've talked to ACL and MCL tears, and they'll tell you, you never forget when it happened, right? And so for a running back like Marshawn Lloyd, to come back from that reconstruction and to look as explosive as he did, to have that cutback like he did, and he did have a cutback. We saw it a number of times. That's big, man. That's big. Marshawn looked explosive. He looked like he was comfortable. But this running back room could be deep. Juju McDowell, very effective as a change of pace back in the spring game.
So quick. So you got Marshawn, who's fast, but then you get Juju in there, and it's like, man, he looks so quick.
Yeah. And he flashed that speed a couple of times. 46 yards on 4 first-half carries. Christian Beal-Smith was just a bulldog in short yardage situations. But they weren't the only ones offensively. Chad Terrell. Keep an eye on this cat. Really interested in what Chad Terrell can do this year. Chad Terrell was a dude that showed up as a wide receiver out of Mississippi. Started in high school. Throughout his career, we were talking about it a second ago, Lonzo, has torn his right and left ACLs throughout his career. Dude has popped both knees.
See, now, was it Frank Gore who did the same thing? I
think so.
I think it was Frank Gore, and still had a really, really long career
he just retired
in the
at
NFL.
63.
Yeah, something like that.
Pop both. So he's got his 6-year eligibility, right? He's in his COVID eligibility year and played predominantly as a wide receiver. Well, they have lined him up as a tight end. Was running good routes, and Shane Beamer called him out by name during the broadcast, right? He caught a really nice little touchdown pass, ran a nice little out route, got up the middle of the field, caught a good strike, went through not one but two defenders to lay out over the end zone, and Shane was like, love this kid. Love this guy. He's had a tough go of it. We asked him during the spring to play some tight end wide receiver combo, said he lined up a tight end, embraced that position, and is going to be a threat, and he looked like it.
He looks big like a tight end, and I don't know if he's put on weight or what, but didn't he look like a tight end when he caught the ball?
Like a tight end.
I'm like, okay.
He did.
I didn't realize he was a tight end, but he is now.
Yeah. Ryan McGee, friend of the show, Ryan McGee was there on the sideline.
And struggling.
Yeah, he was.
Because he had to keep up with Beamer and had to run back and forth. That was hilarious.
I like Ryan McGee is one of my favorite broadcasters. Right, met him at the NCAA tournament over here. He was so nice. Like he walked by, and Ryan caught my attention. Marty McGee is a great podcast. I'll even give him love. It's a great podcast. I met him at the Final Four. I've always liked Ryan because he does his broadcasting on his laptop. He's got a Captain America sticker on the middle of it. And I'm like, all right, this guy gets me, right? Big nerd who also talks Southern sports for a living. I like this guy. Came over, talked to me for a handful of minutes. And it was funny because throughout the rest of the 2 days, I'd see him. And every time I see him, he's like, Rob, what's up, buddy? Like, he was always very nice. Anyway, I tune in and I'm watching the spring game. And I look at Ryan and he's down on the field with Shano. And early in the game, he's Ryan, right? He's like, Shane, you know, my dad used to be an official and Shane's dad was an official and they were buddies and I know this. And by halftime, I'm like, Ryan, why are all of your interviews on the sideline now, buddy? What happened? I looked at him at one point. Spencer was back there throwing a pass and they went to the wide angle to show the whole field. And there's Ryan behind the play filming it with his cell phone. And then Spencer starts running, and then Ryan starts running, and then Ryan stops running. And I'm like, I feel you, dog. I feel you, buddy. Been there, not a fan. Anyway, that 31-yard touchdown reception by Chad Terrell was a feel-good moment for him, right? Now, question's going to be, because Jaheim Bell's got a hamstring injury, will Chad Terrell take over that starting spot? Because he was running some crisp routes. For a guy on not one but two repaired wheels, he looked like a tight end. Son.
Can he block, though? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is this a receiver / tight end because he can't block? Or is he able to help his quarterback out?
I think he's going to be a predominantly pass-catching tight end. Right? Comes over, he's got wide receiver experience, he knows how to make cuts, but on a pair of busted wheels and some pretty good size, and especially considering that wide receiver room looks like it's going to be solid, I suspect you're going to see him as an option, right? Like, we're not going to send him, although that 31-yard pass, he didn't really outmotor anybody to the end zone, but he dragged some dudes.
No, there was more like, get off me, kid.
Yeah.
It was more like that. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I know if I'm a linebacker, I don't want to cover that guy.
Yeah. He was good. I mean, look, you create some mismatches with Chad Terrell that get him lined up on cornerbacks, that get him lined up on safeties. You got the potential for this guy to make some noise for you. I think you look good. If he can stay healthy, man. He's a 6-year guy. You're not, even with the extra COVID year, you're not going to see a lot of 6-year guys that can make an impact, right? If you're sticking around for your 6th year, it's predominantly because it's your last shot.
Or you just want to play football one more time because you're not sure you're going to go any further.
Yeah.
So, in which I can't blame him.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
But he has the potential, if he does stuff like he did in the spring game, and yes, it was a spring game, but if he can do stuff like that in a real game, he has potential to do something else later.
100%. Spencer Rattler, 8 of 10, 79 yards. Doty, 7 of 10 for 85. Colton Gothard, 8 for 15 and 36 yards.
Speaking of Colton, all right, here's my biggest complaint about the spring game. Can either Doty or Rattler throw the ball deep? Because I didn't see it. But you know who did and didn't care? That would be Gothard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shane made it a point, and look, it's no surprise. But Ryan was asking, he's like, hey, man, are we seeing full tilt offense? And Shane said, no, we're on TV, dude. Like, no. We're giving away game film right now.
Still, I'd like to know that there's a deep threat in there, and I didn't see either of those two quarterbacks try it. But like I said, Colton was out there just throwing it as far as he possibly could.
Ddp and Rattler both connected with guys at 25, 30 yards, right? Slant routes, in routes, post routes. They were connecting with guys at 20, 25. Ddp, now, the hesitancy there, and why I think you have a good point, Ddp had Josh Vann twice down the sideline and twice overthrew him.
See, the fan in me, which I am a fan of the Gamecocks, the fan in me wants to know that there's a deep threat, and if there is, if a receiver breaks away, that one of these quarterbacks can hit him. And I didn't see that in the spring game.
Yeah. Again, I didn't think Shane was going to turn the dogs loose entirely for the down-the-field offense, but the question is, and I think it's a fair one to ask, I think Lonzo's absolutely within his rights to ask this question, is there a deep ball threat, right? I think you got the receiver. I think you got the receiver speed to do it, but do you have a quarterback that can drop the ball in there? I would say yeah. But you got to go back to 2020 Spencer Rattler. You got to go to first year at Oklahoma Spencer Rattler. First year at Oklahoma Spencer Rattler was dropping dimes down the field. But we talked about his confidence. We talked about the fact that at Oklahoma, where the expectations were Natties and Heismans, he cracked under that pressure. The question is going to be now that he's at USC, now that they don't have that pressure, now they're not facing the same pressure. Now the expectations are 8 wins, 7. Vegas says 6.5. I say over to 7. With the expectations of I need 7 wins, and I don't even expect you to win your division, will he be able to open back up just a little bit? All right, let's do this. Let's run to a break. When we come back, coming up in about 8 minutes from right now, Bobby Bel-Air is the technical director for Charlotte FC. Charlotte will be bringing their MLS team down here to Greenville on Wednesday evening, where they will take on the Greenville Triumph. That's right. An MLS team coming to the house in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. We'll talk to Bobby Bel-Air coming up next about what it means for Charlotte FC to come play us in our house, baby. Welcome to my house. That's next on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
QC.
Tell you about my friends at QC Kinetics, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the reality. Joint pain is bad. It's The Rob Brown Show is back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we go to the phone lines. We welcome in a young man we've had the pleasure of speaking to in the past. He makes his triumphant return here on the airwaves of Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina, as his football club is set to do the same on Wednesday when Charlotte FC, an MLS side, comes down to take on Greenville Triumph right here in the Upstate. He is the technical director for Charlotte FC and a Clemson soccer alum. He is Mr. Bobby Bel-Air here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Bobby, my man, good to have you back, buddy. Appreciate it.
Rob, thanks for having me on, man. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Absolutely, buddy. Glad to have you. Let's start with this. And obviously, we're going to get into Charlotte FC coming down to take on our little old Triumph this Wednesday. But, my man, Clemson winning the NCAA Men's Soccer Championship last season. I have made the argument for a while that the Upstate is I think we're a soccer area. I think it's grown tremendously. I know the Carolinas are as well with the addition of Charlotte FC. We've got, obviously, teams over on the Atlantic side of the state like the Charleston Battery, etc. But Clemson winning a title just kind of solidifies that. As an alum, man, what was it like for you to watch that run, and what do you think that does mean for soccer in the Carolinas?
Yeah, Rob, it was amazing. I mean, they had a fantastic season. They battled through a bunch of injuries, and their core leadership really shined through, especially down the stretch of the tournament. We were happy actually to be able to draft a couple of Clemson Tigers, and they're on our roster. George Marks, the goalkeeper, and Quinn McNeil, the central midfielder there, two of the leaders. And it was special being able to watch them win it. I was there in Cary, North Carolina, to see them lift the trophy. I think what was most special is seeing how hard Mike Noonan and his staff has worked. And how successful they've been, and to finally capitalize and win one was really great to see, and great for the region. I mean, look, we have fantastic soccer, like you said, throughout our youth ranks, into the college ranks, and now, obviously having Greenville Triumph in the area, in upstate South Carolina, and with Charlotte FC coming on board this year, things are looking bright for soccer in the Carolinas.
We're talking to Bobby Bel-Air. He is the technical director for Charlotte FC. Joining us here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Now, our Greenville Triumph did go to Clemson and play a friendly exhibition against them as their final tune-up for the regular season. Now, you guys, Charlotte FC, coming down here to Greenville, and I will kind of ask you the same question about that. It's a rapidly growing soccer area in the Carolinas, and now the Carolinas' first MLS team, first professional team, comes down to talk to a three-time USL Championship match participant. As far as y'all's end of it, from Charlotte's end, to be able to travel around and play a match as big as this in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and to do it down here in the Upstate where you guys have a pretty hefty fan base already, what does that mean for Charlotte to be able to spread the soccer love around the Carolinas outside of the Queen City?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's honestly a perfect draw for both clubs, right? It's both our first time in the U.S. Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup was canceled the past 2 years due to COVID, so Greenville Triumph hasn't played in it before, and neither has Charlotte FC. So for us to be able to match up, and I know we share similar fan bases, it's going to be a great intimate setting there at Legacy College Stadium, and we're really looking forward to it, right? I mean, like I said, two great fan bases. And, you couldn't really script it any better with Greenville upsetting a USL Championship club last week against Oakland. And for them to be able to host us, for them to be able to show kind of what they're about to an MLS club, and for us to be able to come down and participate in our first Open Cup, it's really going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
Bobby Bel-Air, the technical director for Charlotte FC, a Clemson soccer alum, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. And, folks down here are obviously geeked. Last week, we put out podcasted segments. We had John Harkes, former professional player, obviously a member of the U.S. men's team back in the early 2000s, now the head coach of the Triumph. And we talked a little to Harksey about what this game meant for the Triumph as far as having an MLS side come down for Charlotte FC, for a club in its first year. And by the way, playing really well the last few weeks. What does it mean from a soccer standpoint for you guys to come down? I mean, I got to assume, as nice as it is to play some soccer in the Carolinas, as nice as it is to spread the MLS love across the fan base, at the same time, I assume you guys are coming down to win a damn soccer match, Bobby Bel-Air.
Oh, definitely, Rob. Definitely. I mean, look, there's no doubt about it, and it's typically in the past of the U.S. Open Cup, these games can be sort of those trap games where maybe you don't take it as seriously, your players aren't as up for it. So we know the opponent that we're facing. I'm very familiar with Greenville Triumph, obviously, and Harkey's a fantastic coach. He's won it twice in his career. And so he's no stranger to it. He knows how to play in these games. And look, I think if you watch the game against Oakland, they show that they can win the match without having, dominating the ball and dominating possession. So for us, we're definitely taking this match seriously. We want to do well in the U.S. Open Cup in our first time ever. It's a great way for us to try to win a trophy in our first season. So that, we're coming in with the attitude that we want to win. We're going to compete. We're going to play hard. And look, at the end of the day, we could be friends off the field, but when we step on the pitch, your best friends sometimes can make your best enemies as well.
Bobby Bel-Air, technical director for Charlotte FC, here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. One of the worst things you can do when you're on a date, Bobby Bel-Air, is to go, hey, tell me what you think about me, but tell me from a Charlotte perspective what your breakdown of the Greenville Triumph is as you prepare. I mean, listen, this is not a team that ordinarily, I'm not going to say wouldn't be on your radar, because obviously you guys have eyeballs out across the Carolinas when you're scouting players, et cetera, but not necessarily a team you guys would break down the way you would in Atlanta United or a Philadelphia Union with a match coming up against them. So from y'all's perspective, getting ready for this match, and I know it's wedged in between a game against New England last week. You've got the Rapids coming up just a few days after that. What is the scouting report for the Greenville Triumph from Charlotte FC?
Yeah, look, I mean, from our coaching staff may not have the best knowledge, and so they've been working hard to analyze the team. But in terms of, I've been able to help them because of my knowledge of the team and of the players. And so, look, you look at Greenville Triumph and, a silly person could say, well, they're two divisions below Charlotte FC. They're two divisions below MLS. Well, that doesn't mean that they're not a good team and they don't have good players, right? A lot of these guys were drafted in MLS, right? Or that they've played in big games before. They've had great careers. You look at Jay Keegan; he's the highest scoring American forward in USL League One history, and so we're not taking these guys lightly. Lucas Coutinho is a great addition for them. They have a lot of good leaders like Aaron Walker on their team. I'm very familiar with Paul Christensen from his time in Atlanta when I was there. So. Look, our coaching staff has been working hard since the match against New England this weekend, and they're recruiting, they're scouting, and looking at how Greenville plays, the ins and outs, and how we want to attack them. So, look, it's definitely something that we're taking seriously, and we know it's going to be a formidable opponent on Wednesday night.
Bobby Bel-Air joining us here on the Rob Brown Show, and like we just mentioned, you guys are coming off of a very hard-fought game against New England. You got Colorado the next week. So for Charlotte FC, maybe for those folks who know of Charlotte FC but have not gotten ingrained with the culture yet, what is the style of play of this team? I mean, we know Greenville is a team that very much loves to try to hit a counterattack. It's a team that is not necessarily hell-bent on long runs of possession. They don't mind trying to quick attack you, etc. What is the play style of Charlotte FC that Triumph fans that are going to get their eyes on this team for the first time are going to watch play out Wednesday evening?
Yeah, this is what I'm most excited about, is the two different styles that these two teams will bring. So for Charlotte FC, we want to dominate the ball. We want to dominate possession. And you're going to see some risky passing. We try to create overloads and progress from the defensive phase into the attacking phase. And so for us, really, it's about creating numerical advantages, a lot of quick combinations. You'll see a lot of good movement off the ball from players making third-man runs. We try to get in behind. And we know that Greenville likes is happy to sit in and absorb some of that pressure and try to play on the counter. So we realize that we gotta be smart and not leave ourselves exposed to those dangerous counterattacks.
Bobby Bel-Air is the technical director, from Charlotte FC, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. We talked about Carolinas being a rapidly growing soccer area. We've watched it happen in Austin, Texas. We've watched Seattle and Columbus and Portland all become bastions of soccer culture across the states. Do you think a match like this, with MLS side Charlotte FC coming down to take USL League One side Greenville on in Greenville, at a place where I got to assume other MLS teams are going to be looking now? This is going to give the Triumph obviously tremendous coverage, but help you guys really put some feelers and some alerts out about your team and your club and your brand in this area. Do you think there is the potential long-term for Southern North Carolina, Charlotte, stretching down into the upstate, to have the type of growth like Austin did, like Portland did, like Seattle in a few years back, to have that kind of growth with events like this taking place in the community?
Oh, 100%, Rob. I mean, I think the Open Cup is a great opportunity for us to be able to come into different markets and show what we're about and connect with fans and maybe connect with people that are interested, but, maybe haven't really made the plunge yet. And we already have a great fan base and support in Greenville. So it's going to be great for those guys, Southbound and Crown, to do their thing and try to connect with other people and show the Greenville Triumph fan base what we're about. And look, it doesn't mean you can't be a fan of multiple teams, right? And support multiple teams in the same area. That's what we want to do. And, I think if anyone who has come to a match at Charlotte FC, or even if you watch one on TV, I mean, the atmosphere is just electric. There's nothing like it that I've been a part of in this region. And so, look, we're excited to showcase ourselves in an area outside of Charlotte, but still within our region, right? And also be able to support the Greenville Triumph's growth and their fan base too.
Last one for you, Bobby Bel-Air, technical director for Charlotte FC. When you guys got the club and when team play started this year, there were a lot of folks that I will acknowledge and throw myself under the bus included. I was a little concerned. I'm like, I don't know what attendance looks like. I know that when the Panthers aren't good, they have struggled in attendance. I wonder how this is going to play out. But through TV, and I've yet to make it to a match, though I plan to in the next couple of weeks, it appears that BOA is absolutely rocking when Charlotte FC is home. Have you guys been impressed with the response of the supporters clubs there in Charlotte and around the upstate and the rest of the Carolinas?
Rob, it's been amazing, man. We got to get you to a match. Just let me know what works for you, and we'll get you up here. But, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. We have 5 different supporters groups, and they have been absolutely rocking every match we've had. From the avid fan to the more passive fan that gets more into it as they come to matches. It's just been great to see everyone across Charlotte's wearing the kits. I think the away kit is a special one for everyone. They seem to like the mint and black. But look, it's you see it everywhere, and people are so excited. You get families out there, young people, older people, everyone that just has some sort of passion for soccer and wants to experience something that's a little bit different for this region. And we've been able to do that. Credit to our, game day presentation and our operations people who put on a great show every time we've played a home match. And so look, for us, we hope to continue to be successful so that people don't have an excuse to not come out, like you said.
Bobby Bel-Air, technical director for Charlotte FC, alum of Clemson soccer. Dude, great to get you back on the air. Really impressed with what you guys have done. Can't wait to make it up. And we will see you on Wednesday down here in the Ville, big boy.
Sounds good, Rob. We'll see you on Wednesday, my man.
There you go. Bobby Bel-Air, technical director, Charlotte FC. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Killing me, man.
Yeah, sorry, that went longer than I should have let it.
It's the classic host. One more question.
think you'll do that plus, which is pretty fair. I don't know if I can get there today. I was really.
97.1 FM Spartanburg.
There. Are you mad at Bogus or?
My friends at 1 Hour Heating and Air of Greenville. Listen to what Stacy
Utah won on Saturday. The Braves
for over 2 years from the diagnosis and installment of a new
playoffs got going on Saturday and Sunday.
I've been so pleased.
There are
the 1 Hour crew is prompt, efficient, and courteous. I'll continue to use
chip
and
version of ACB.
1 Hour Heating and Air, serving the upstate more than 20 years. Always on time and doing food on it. Call them today, 855-4 on time. 855-4 on time.
No one wants to cut corners on a good night's rest, so I sleep on sheets that are just good enough. If you dream of comfortable sheets at a price that won't keep you up all night, look no further than Boll & Branch. Boll & Branch makes the softest organic sheets on the market using 100% sustainable raw materials. As the first fair trade certified
Where you going?
manufacturer of linen, feel as good about
You
your
got a
sustainable
minute.
against your skin. Plus, Boll & Branch focuses on quality over quantity because higher thread counts are not always better. Their signature hem sheets are made from lightweight organic cotton that gets softer with every wash. And they come in 7 colors, from twin up to California King. Best of all, Boll & Branch gives you a fair price and a 30-day risk-free trial with free shipping and returns. So experience the best sheets you've ever felt only at bollandbranch.com. Get an exclusive 20% post-sale discount now to the end of April at bollandbranch.com with promo code SAVE.
Look at you. You didn't even have to Ryan McGee it.
Branch.com. Promo code SAVE.
You know if I did, because I'll be.
And now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19, then act fast. With authorized
The Thor Love and Thunder teaser trailers dropped.
Yeah, I was gonna put it in Twitter. It just now dropped. It's not breaking newsworthy. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've already watched it without listening to it.
Next break, I'm watching too, and we're listening to it quietly.
Yeah. That's why I didn't listen to it. Flagging is real.
Yes, it is. I know this. Say after. All right, wrapping up hour number 2 here on the Rob Brown Show. I want to thank Bobby Bel-Air, technical director for Charlotte FC, for joining us here on the show. Want to thank Woody Wilder, who is their PR bro, for setting that whole thing up. Talked to Woody on Friday, and he said, like, I was talking to him again away from the radio, and I will tell you, when we have conversations with folks from big clubs, big professional organizations away from the radio, you will frequently get a different projection, a different image than you get when you have them on the air, right? When you're on the air with people, very frequently it's, oh yeah, we're really excited about this, we're excited about that, we're excited about this and that and this and that. And then off the air, you're like, they're like, yeah, man, it is what it is. It's one of those things you got to do, right? There's a back channels communication between those of us and the. I talked to Woody Wilder, who's a super good dude, super relaxed guy. Conversation with him, and I was like, for real, like, is this kind of a blip on the radar, right? Like, is this kind of a blip on the radar from you guys? And if he said yes, I wouldn't even brought this up, right? But I said, is this kind of a blip in the radar? Like, is this one of those things that the boys are looking at and going, we got to go where? We got to do it. We had New England last week, and we got Colorado this weekend, and now you're telling us that on a Wednesday we got to go to Greenville, South Carolina, and play some little bitty USL League One team? And Woody was like, no, this is a deal for us, man. Like, this is a deal. This is a thing. He said everybody in the front office has been buzzing about it. They're excited about it, both from the perspective of let's go down there and test ourselves against an upstart club, because keep in mind, a lot of the young guys on the Triumph roster are still young guys that have got a chance at the show. The USL League One is where you go out there and cut your teeth and get yourself in soccer shape and develop yourself into the professional soccer player you're going to become. These guys can still get moved up and have a chance. They said, we know that we're going to be coming against a team that if the Greenville Triumph win this game, right? It is a legacy event for them. It is an event that's talked about for years. If they win this match, Rob Brown in 2032 is going to come on and go, "Welcome to the Rob Brown Show. Remember when the Triumph beat Charlotte FC?"
Does it hurt Charlotte immensely, though, if they come down here and lose? When it's a brand new team and you're trying to build a fan base and you go down and you lose to what is considered a lesser team?
I mean, you got to think that listen. We can be nice, we can be honest, and go, or be dishonest, and go, hey, look, it's an open cup. It's kind of an interesting situation. It was sprung on them with a week's notice, and look, they just played a really physical game against New England back on the 16th. Coming up in a couple of days after that, what do they got? 3 days between playing Greenville before they go take on Colorado, the Rapids. I mean, you can look at it and go, hey, it was a one-off game. You're on the road. You're playing in an environment that, some of these guys haven't played in an arena this small in years, even when they were playing college ball, right? But I think the honest thing to say is yes, right? Yes, I think it's absolutely something that strikes their image. I think it goes both ways. If Greenville loses the game, you go, of course they lost. They were playing an MLS side, right? Of course they lost. But if Greenville wins, the Triumph win, they're on the map, dude. They're on the map. They're going to get play on SportsCenter and Fox Sports This Morning. They're getting play on all of it. If Charlotte FC loses, same thing, but not in a great way, right? It's a big match. For the image and the reputation of both of these clubs, it's a big match. And Woody was saying it. He's like, man, that's all we talked about in the office since the draw came down. The admin has been going, this is not just, it's an opportunity to brand, sure, to push Charlotte FC in this market and try to get people in this market to get in the supporters section. But they also know they lose this game, it's a hit to the image, sure. All right, when we come back, we got more spring game analysis from the Garnet and Black game, a bunch of breakdown from the NBA, and plenty more. I'm Rob, he's Lonzo, and you're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Marshawn turning donuts in a Zamboni. That's amazing.
And he looks like he's having a great time, too.
He's, that guy's a beaut. An absolute beaut. Because every one of us has had that thought, right?
Oh, I'd love to do
Every
that.
one of us has had that thought.
Although I think it'd be hard to handle. It looks like he's doing a good job with it. I mean, he's doing donuts, but still.
Oh, Marshawn is now part owner of the Seattle Kraken. That's why.
Hey, it's DA. Be sure to listen to CBS Sports Radio at home. Ask Alexa to play CBS Sports Radio.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, most of our commissions on trade.
No, I got to come.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit clearly different money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Get Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I paid around $200.
Kobe.
There you have it. Stop paying full price for gas.
Back
Download
underneath.
the free Get Upside app and
Great.
get real cash back every time you buy gas.
Third
This
of the
is
can
Matt
out.
Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Get Upside app. Get real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EASY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or gift card for Amazon.
Oh, they showed it. Wow. I thought they'd have saved that as a bit of a surprise.
What?
Nothing.
That's why we help small businesses discover the right ingredients, delivering the best local products, and hopefully.
This week at Ingles, select sauces and varieties, Skippy peanut butter.
No, you Keegan, you ruined it. Nothing.
32-ounce
Ruined it.
two for $6 and select 40
I did like that you typed out glass shatter, though. That's
prices. Love the savings.
Well, I had already seen and already watched it by the time that he,
yeah.
but still, I.
At CDW, we get to be productive. It helps to avoid interruptions. Oh, I hate those. Oh, please continue. Well, with an Acer ProBook Enterprise device, you great machines. Yes, and they're even better when they're pre-configured by CDW experts to support uninterrupted productivity wherever your workforce goes with 4G LTE. Nice. And a battery that lasts 14 hours. Yep, great. Oh, sorry, you were saying? IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Acer.
Imagine a world with endless possibilities. I'm talking endless saving and endless hot showers. Yeah, you heard me right. Endless hot showers. With Navien, that dream is now a reality. Navien tankless water heaters deliver a continuous flow of hot water for as long as you need it. No waiting for a tank to reheat more water, wasting time and energy. The compact design saves you space and money in comparison to traditional tank water heaters. It's time to make the switch and make your hot water dreams come true. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Give yourself a new morning routine with the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. It's filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. Swing by participating locations for a limited time only. Drinks excludes freezes.
DA Show mornings at 6.
You think that if Baker Mayfield had actually lived up to the #1 pick overall, the Browns would still be looking at another quarterback? He hasn't done his job. He hasn't done what they think he is capable of. He has not lived up to the expectations he came in with. He was a bottom 5 starting quarterback last year. You don't think they're going to shop for somebody else?
Real sports talk.
The DA Show
Morning 6 to 9.
on the Fan Upstate. The Fan.
WORD Spartanburg.
WFBC HD3 Greenville, the official sports voice of the Upstate Fan. CBS Sports Radio. An Odyssey station.
Man, check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show.
The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show starts right now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fan Upstate. What's up? Upstate South Carolina. How do you do, America? What's going on, world? Great to be back with you. I am Rob Brown, obviously. Directly across from me on the other side of the glass is the guy who makes it go even when I'm actively trying to derail the show. The great man Lonzo is on the board. Lonzo, during the break, sends me a Twitter DM, which I, of course, was like, well, I'm going to open this immediately. This can't be anything but greatness. And boy, howdy, that was correct. There is a video going around right now on Twitter. Sorry to spoil Twitter trending topics ahead of time. Marshawn Lloyd and the rapper Macklemore are the most recent two minority owners of the Seattle Kraken National Hockey League team.
Wait a minute. Macklemore still exists?
Well, I mean, he's got plenty of time. He saved all those dollars buying clothes at thrift shops.
Dressing like a grandpa.
I wear my grandpa's clothes. So Macklemore and Marshawn have went in and now are minority owners of the Seattle Kraken. And so Marshawn got to show up at a Kraken practice at their practice facility. And Marshawn, showing that he is a freaking bro, decided to do what every single one of us has thought when we see a Zamboni and wonder, will I ever get the chance? Marshawn hopped on the back of the Zamboni and began spinning donuts center ice with the Zamboni at the Kraken practice facility. I cannot tell you how much I love Marshawn Lynch. I want to be friends with Marshawn. I want to hang out with Marshawn. I want to order Uber Eats with Marshawn. And then I want to hop on the back of the Zam when Marshawn starts spinning donuts right in the middle of the rink.
That dude looks like he is having a blast on the back of that Zamboni. And who hasn't wanted to do that? I mean,
every time. You know, I've done some work in the past with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. I'm currently wearing my old Pensacola Ice Flyers jersey. I used to serve as their in-arena host when I lived down in the Picola. I've been around hockey teams like a lot at multiple levels, right? And I cannot tell you how many times I've stood in the Zam tunnel and watched the ice cleaner come out, get out onto the ice. And if you ever watch the Zamboni, if you ever watch it closely, you'll see, Lonzo, when they're cleaning the rink, when they come when they come out of that turn, right? Because they clean a middle, then they go to the outside wall, then the middle, then the inside of the outside wall, and they just kind of make an overlapping pattern. But if you ever watch them make the turn to run long ways down the rink, if you watch real closely, they drift into the next row, right? Like next time a Zam cleans, watch it. The back tires, when they turn, those back tires drift out behind the Zam and then straighten up.
Well, think about it. When we went curling, how slippery that ice was. And it's the same kind of rink. So just imagine doing that. And I've always thought, I put it akin to big-time construction equipment. Yeah, I've always wanted to ride that big grader, but could I handle it? And that's the same thing with the Zamboni.
Yeah.
Can you handle it? It looks like it'd be kind of easy, but that thing is big.
It's big, it's heavy, but it still slides. And if you watch it as it sets up for a lengthwise run of the rink, you'll see the back tires get out from underneath it and slide sideways. You got to get trained to drive a Zamboni. It's not something you just go do, right? Clearly. And every time that I've been standing in the Zam tunnel or I've been on the ice during an intermission, some of you guys that have gone to local games, you've seen me out on the ice at intermissions for the Rabbits here and there. Every time I've seen the Zam up close and I watch those tires slide, I have thought to myself, how many Zam drivers around these great United States and Canada and the rest of the world, how many have ever gone, you know what? YOLO, cranked that thing to the right, hammered down the accelerator, and started spinning donuts in the middle of the ring to see if they could do it. Now I know, number one, the answer is at least Marshawn Lynch. And question number two, can a Zam do donuts? The answer is yup. He was Tokyo drifting the Zam around the dot like a professional. Lonzo, I just want to be friends with Marshawn Lynch. That's it. That's a life aspiration. I just want to, because Marshawn, nobody else I know has gotten the opportunity to spin donies on the bony, but Marshawn got it.
You know, and this is all because he didn't speak. Because if he was just a normal running back, even though he was pretty good, it's all because I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And that made him so famous that he's on the back of a Zamboni. He's doing Lay's commercials. He's doing Uber Eats. He's doing all that kind of stuff just because he didn't want to talk.
Love this dude. Love this dude. He is fantastic. All right, a couple more things I wanted to get. Speaking of the bunnies, Swamp Rabbits are in the SPHL playoffs. I said ECHL, it's my old one. Swamp Rabbits are in the playoffs. They made it. They were up in Norfolk, taking on Norfolk the other night, Saturday night. Went up and watched them play a little bit. And at the same time, Jacksonville and Orlando were going at it, and they got the win that they needed. So, round one of the ECHL Kelly Cup playoffs is on, and your Swamp Rabbits are in, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of, came from worst. We're last in the division. Fought back over the final 41 games of the season, made the playoffs. They will get it started coming up on April 22nd. That is Friday. They have got a pair of games down at the Florida Everblades in South Florida. By the way, I don't want to give credit to an opponent, Lonzo, but Everblades is a great name for a team from South Florida.
One of the best names of all time.
It's a great name.
It is really good.
The Everblades of Florida will play host to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits on April 22nd and 23rd. The game on Friday at 7:30. The game on Saturday is at 7. Then they will take a brief break. They will return to the well. April 27th is a Wednesday. 28th is a Thursday. They will drop both of those games at 7:05 next Wednesday and Thursday. If a Game 5 is necessary, it will be played next Saturday, April 30th. That will be at 7:05 as well. Games 3, 4, and 5 right here at the well. Should the series, if necessary, go to Game 6, it will be May 2nd at Florida at 7:30. Should a Game 7 be required, they will play it May 4th down at Florida. So there is your ECHL Kelly Cup Swamp Rabbits playoff. They will start coming up on Friday night. They will be away on Friday and Saturday, 7:30 and 7 o'clock, respectively, at Florida. Game 3 back here at the well on April 27th at 7:05. Game 4, 7:05 on the 28th. That's next Wednesday and Thursday. Should a Game 5 be should it be necessary?
Hey, you got there. You got sometimes you strive. You strive. You push forward, and you did it.
I made a mistake. I apologize, and then I made the same mistake again. That happens. Should a Game 5 be necessary, it will be on Saturday the 30th at the well. I am hoping that the Bunnies can put them away in 5, and we can take the first series right here in the GVL. We'll keep you up to date on the ECHL playoffs as they progress. Of course, Wednesday night, we told you about it. Wednesday night, your Greenville Triumph will play host to Charlotte FC. Thanks again to Woody Wilder and Bobby Bel-Air from Charlotte FC for joining us earlier in the show. We appreciate Bobby's time. Woody and the gang will be down here on Wednesday when Charlotte FC plays at Greenville Triumph. Really, really excited about that on Wednesday night. I will tell you that I have been told that the Triumph have made a few more tickets available. I do not know how many, and I do not know how long they'll last, but if you go to their website at greenvilletriumph.com, you can get tickets. I'm going to tell you right now, that thing's sold out. They have released a few more tickets. Get them. Get them on the fly. We will be there. We've got people coming over from Columbia to go to this match. We've got people coming down from Charlotte to go to this match. This thing's going to be big. I am pumped about it. This might be, I asked Lonzo last week when it got announced if this was going to be the biggest single sporting event in Greenville history, to have a pro side come here. Not just pro sides coming to play a game, but a pro side coming to play one of our teams, right? Somebody asked me, like, if they were going to make up another, like, could you describe this to a non-soccer fan? This would be like if the Carolina Hurricanes came down to play the Swamp Rabbits, right? Like, wait, what now? Here, and doing it here. It's like, wait, what now? That's big. That's big. I love it. So grab your tickets while there are just a couple of ones left. We'll see you Wednesday over there at Legacy Early College. Can't wait. Saturday night is all right for fighting, Lonzo. It's also all right for a little NBA basketball. We got started Saturday with round 1 of the playoffs, and we open a Luka-less Dallas Mavericks game. Gave a hell of an effort. Gave a good effort to the Utah Jazz, but ultimately the Jazz just too much for Dallas sans Luka. They win that game 99-93. At one point, Dallas was down about a 20 spot, but ran it back up over the fourth quarter to catch it up just a little bit, 99-93.
Are they done?
Finish there.
Are they done if he doesn't come back? Because he's not playing. I think tonight they play, and I don't think he's playing tonight
Yeah, they
either.
can't win without Luka. I mean, they're a good team. I like Dallas. They are one of those teams that's a team. Spencer Dinwiddie put up 22. Brunson put up 24. You got 15 and 14 from Bullock and Finney-Smith. I mean, they're a good team, but sans Luka, they can't win this series. If they can't get that bit, if they are in a 2-0 hole before Luka comes back, they're going to be a world of hurt. Because even with Luka, the Jazz are still a good team, right? The Jazz are still a good squad. That's why they're playing. That's why they're playing host here. So that's why they took the win from the host, 99-93. Bogdanovich, 26 for the Jazz, 32 for Donovan Mitchell. Rudy Gobert only had 5, but clogged up the board. 17 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. 17 boards for my dude. If they don't get Luka back, Utah's going to win that series running away, I think. We'll see how it plays out. Also on Saturday night, the T-Wolves down the Grizzlies. Love Ja, pulling for Ja, 32-4-8 for Ja, but the Timberwolves team is good. It's good. Everybody, by the way, let me ask this. We didn't get into it a lot last week. Minnesota wins their play-in tournament game, make the dance. And after they win their play-in tournament game, their players hit center court and threw down an absolute celly. Like, we're going bananas, like they had just won the NBA Finals itself, right? Threw a celly down. I'm tuning in the radio the next day, and I hear NBA talking heads that are like, my goodness, guys, why are you celebrating like that? Why would you celebrate like that? It's a play-in game, not a real game. It's not a tournament game. It's not even a playoff game. Why are you throwing down the celebration like you just won the whole damn tournament? And my answer was, Lonzo, because they were having fun and they like winning?
Obviously, in a down economy, you appreciate the chance to make some more income. And because of that victory, they are guaranteed at least 4 more checks.
That's it. That's
4.
it. Made
So
a little cheddar.
That's what it was. It was all about money.
This may shock you. But winning is fun.
It is.
Winning's a lot of
fun. You know what? Losing sucks.
Losing is not fun. Losing is very not fun. When you win, you should celebrate, right? You win. I don't care if you've won 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times, or if it's your first dub. If you win, you should celebrate. You know who else was celebrating? All the T-Wolves fans. All the Minnesota Timberwolves fans who got told Karl Anthony Towns is not enough of a superstar to get you there. Oh, by the way, he put down 29 on the Grizz. All the T-Wolves fans who got told Anthony Edwards is not enough to get you there. Oh, that's right, 36 against the Grizz. 10 from Russell, 10 from Beverly, 15 from McDaniels off the bench. And off the bench, how about Malik Beasley with a 23 spot off the bench? This Timberwolves team is, they remind me a little bit of last year's Bucks team, right? They've got about as good of a chemistry with each other as you could hope to ask for. Love watching this T-Wolves team play. Pulling for Ja. Love Ja. Love Ja. But T-Wolves are the real deal. Also, on Saturday evening, we ended up with the Raptors getting demolished by the 76ers. Your final in that one, 131-111. 76ers are going to sweep this series. I am confident in that. 76ers are going to sweep this series. 26 for Harris, 38 for Maxey. Harden chipped in 22. Joel trusts the process. Embiid, 19, but 15 boards to go with it. James Harden dished out 14 assists in that game, by the way. Harden went 22, 5, and 14 across the line. Y'all, I don't like James Harden. I don't think I've made that a secret, but you give me a James Harden that's going to give me 22 and 14 assists to go with it. Lonzo, that's going to be a hard team to beat, dude.
I mean, he's there for you now. Will he be there for you later? I don't know. I don't know. He hasn't really shown it.
I mean, I am hoping that. So here's the thing. When Harden gets to a new team, he always moans his way out of that team, but it takes him a little while to get there, right? When he got from Oklahoma City to Houston, Houston was pretty good with James Harden for a while. When he left Houston and got to Brooklyn, beginning of this year, before the drama started, Brooklyn was pretty good for a while. Remember, he's brand new to Philly. He's been there, 4 weeks now? 5 weeks now? He's still in that road, in that zone, that he's not whining and complaining enough to have an impact on the tenacity, as Bobby Bowden would say, of this team. I don't know if they win the title, but I think Philly sweeps this series because they've got fresh to the team, good James Harden. Not, I've been here 3 weeks and it's not all about me. I hate it. I want out James Harden. By the way, shooting over 51% from the floor and 50% from the three-point line and 85% from the stripe, you're going to win a lot of games that way. A lot of games. Also, on late Saturday night, Nuggets fall to the Warriors 123-107. Jordan Poole, in his playoff career, dropped 30 on the Nugs. 30. 24 out of Barton, 25 out of Jokic. I like this Nuggets team. But you are Morris hitting a three and Highland dropping a field goal away from having two players in double digits. Double digits, not 20s, not 30s, double digits, period. Barton and Jokic did it. Everybody else did not, except for the 10 of Morris and the 10 of Highland. Not good enough. When the Warriors got Draymond back, and, oh, by the way, you may have noticed Steph Curry got you 22 minutes. He did not start that game, by the way. I watched the beginning of that game, and I'm like, oh, no, Steph Curry.
This is because he's recovering from injury, right?
Foot. Yeah. Banged up foot. I think they wanted to limit in time. He came out, looked good. 16 points for Steph Curry in 22 minutes, but only 5 of 13 from the field. That won't get her done. You also had games. I'm in my soccer mentality still. Also had games on Sunday. Bulls-Bucks. What happened to the Bulls, man? The Bulls opened the year, and everybody went, whoa, this team's a threat in the East. They got beat by the Bucks 93-86 in a game that wasn't particularly that close. The Celtics. Chaos as Jason Tatum. By the way, did you happen to see the last possession of that game, Lonzo?
Multiple times.
Talk about cutting it down to the wiriest of wires, eh?
Then who'd he score the basket over?
I think he went over Kyrie, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I think he went over Kyrie. The Celtics have the ball. 7 seconds left off the inbound. 4 passes, including inside to Tatum, who then hits a spin move in the paint on Kyrie to lay it up and in backwards to score the 1-point victory over the Nets. That was, listen, it worked. It worked. That was a dumb way to finish the game for Boston. They were, I don't know, would they have about 0.4 seconds left when he got that ball off the fingertips? That was close to being a disaster.
A victory's a victory. It was finesse. That's what it was. You didn't need finesse, but he did it. That's more. That's in your face, Brooklyn. That's what that is.
Close to disaster for Boston, but they do put the visiting Nets down 115-114. What the hell happened to the Atlanta Hawks? What the hell, Atlanta?
They're just happy to be there.
I guess so. My goodness, Atlanta had 115-91 loss. My goodness, Hawks. Trey had 8. Ice Trey, the coldest dude in the playoffs, had 8 on 1 of 12. Wait for this, Lonzo. 1 of 12 from the floor. 0 of 7 from behind the arc.
Defensive pressure on him, of course. It wasn't that he was cold or anything.
My goodness, Trey, dude. Here's the thing. It's not so much that he went 1 of 12 and 0 of 7 from the field and the 3-point line, respectively. The problem's when my dude tried to get into a fight with Jimmy Butler. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Jimmy Butler fan. You lose me when you try to fist fight your coach on the sideline, right? I don't care how bad you are. I was last year before. I was a big Jimmy Buckets guy. I'm out. Guy is the definition of overly temperamental. Trey, 90% of the time, I got your back, brother. I do. Love Ice Trey. But you can't get into Jimmy Bucket's face when you are 1 of 12 from the floor and 0 of 7 from the arc. No, you're not the dude to go after Jimmy Buckets in that spot. You can't do it. 1 of 12. 0 for 7. My dude was 1 of 19 on the night shooting. Bad, dude. And it with 8 points because 6 of them came from the free throw line. Yowza. And then last night, because I can't not bring it up, my Pelicans. Lonzo, how much do you subscribe to the theory that if you play like the Pelicans did, right? 2 really tough, really emotional games in the play-in tournament, right? 1 at home, win that, go on the road, got to go to LA, to the Crypto.com arena, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as the Staples Center. Very emotional game, tough game, down 16 to the Clippers before you got to rally back and win. Can I chalk this loss up to, by the way, the Pelicans who chipped away at a 22-point deficit to get within single digits before they got blown out? Can I chalk this up to New Orleans had 2 really tough, really emotional games in the play-in tournament? Of course, they were a little empty in game number 1 on the road.
They are emotionally tired, but they can also look at the bench and see that large guy there who, if he was in the game, might make a difference. Will he come back? Would you play him now?
Yeah. Of course I would. I just need 15 minutes, Zion. You're telling me you can run 5-on-5 with the boys in practice. You're telling me you can throw 360 under the leg dunks down, but your little footsy's a little too hurt to go play in the damn playoffs, bro. Pelicans can, I'm not saying will, Pelicans can win that game last night with 15 minutes from Zion. 15, that's all I want, 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes.
So if you are the owner, the coach, the trainers, he's in there.
Here's the thing. I think the Pelicans are ready to play him. It is his team. It is his guys that are going, no, he's not ready, right? It's his guys, his team, his staff, his doctor saying no. The Pels want him in there. Zion, come on, brother. Give me 15. Give me 15 in game 2. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
and even connect you to a contractor to help you shore up that leak and alleviate your worries. When it comes to cracks in your plans, the expertise of a realtor can make all the difference. The difference between an agent and a realtor.
So they just now got the tire fixed, and she went home, and Raven went to work. Don't know why it took so long. Hope she didn't bend the rim or something. She said she got off the road as soon as it went flat, though.
It didn't like blow out on her. It just went flat.
It just went flat. Yeah, she sent me pictures. The tire's still on the, was still on the rim. So I started following Shivani on Twitter because I hadn't. He gave a review of the Batman.
Yeah.
And talked about how he gave up on Elden Ring because it was too hard.
Same.
I did that thing that I do sometimes when I get all the way to the end of the game and I can't beat it, so I start over. I did that, so I've started over with a different character. With the prisoner, I may never take the Man in the Iron Mask thing off just because it looks so stupid.
I've tried different characters. I've tried with classes. I suck.
Oh, I'm zooming through right now.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're you. Phone lines open, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-FAN-PHONE. You can also get with us on the Preferred Home Services text line, 71307, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, and we will read them on the air. So there was an article that went up on ESPN earlier that I found that was kind of interesting. It was penned anonymously, I guess, by ESPN staff. And it's talking about wide receivers in the league. And the fact that Davante Adams has kicked off a problem for some NFL teams. The problem being that quarterback contracts right now are ridiculous, right? We saw Aaron Rodgers' contract. It's fat. We saw Deshaun Watson's contract with Cleveland. It's fat. Quarterbacks are getting stacks unlike they have ever gotten stacks before. And there's no sign of it slowing down because the report came out this weekend that Kyler Murray, quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, now wants a new contract. And that Kyler Murray is prepared to sit out of OTAs and spring camp should he not receive a new contract. We saw the letter from his agent about a month and a half ago, that said Kyler wants to be a Cardinal and he loves the team and the fans and the community. He wants to stay there, but he should get what he deserves. And now he wants a fat contract like A-Rod of the football persuasion and like D-Dub4 got in Green Bay and Cleveland, respectively. The problem for some of these guys is that now wide receivers are looking for the same money. Davante Adams got his 5-year contract with the Raiders after he got let go by the Pack for a trade. $142.5 million, 67.5 of it guaranteed. Pay Adams an annual average of $28.5 million over the life of the contract, which at the time was an NFL record for a non-quarterback. However, that record lasted 1 week because then the Dolphins signed Tyreek Hill away from the Chiefs on a deal worth 4 years, $120 million. Hill will make $30 million annually, $72.2 million guaranteed, and a $52.5 million signing bonus just for inking. Stephon Diggs, 4 years, $104 million. Means my guy's making just over $25 million a year. Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk got a deal from the Jags. 4 for 72.
Who?
Mike Williams, 3 for 60. Chris Godwin, 3 for 60. By the way, that's a steal for the Buccaneers.
Who's Christian Kirk?
Oh, the Jaguars wide receiver who got a 4-year, $72 million contract. Cash, money, homie.
How is this a surprise, though? I mean, we've seen what the quarterbacks are able to get. It was bound to go to the next diva class or the diva class, and that would be the wide receivers.
Next. Look, the wide receivers have a point, right? You're giving these quarterbacks these fat stacks of cash. The quarterbacks are made to look better by the guys they're throwing the ball to. But you think about it. You think about A-Rod of the football persuasion. Devontae Adams was a big part of Aaron Rodgers' success the last few years. There's no disputing that. You want to know part, not all, but part of the reason Deshaun Watson got the contract he got? 2 years ago, who was the best wide receiver for the Houston Texans?
Some dude out of Clemson. Nuke Hopkins.
Let me put it this way. Deshaun Watson has been working with guys like Will Fuller. One of the bigger names that he got, Randall Cobb, who was a Packers cast-off slot receiver. Houston's best receiver, what? Kenny Stills? Right?
These are still kind of names, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I get what you're
Devontae
saying.
Adams.
No, true.
They're not Tyreek Hill. They're not DK Metcalf. Right? They're nowhere near those guys. He had DeAndre Hopkins. That was it. That was the list. He had DeAndre Hopkins, who the Texans traded for David Johnson and the number 40 overall pick. Not even a first rounder. That's it. Brandon Cooks. I mean, Brandon Cooks had a few 1,000-yard seasons under his belt. The point is, wide receivers have a point. You put a couple of stacked receivers out there, quarterbacks are going to get you numbers. Those numbers translate directly to numbers on a page for the quarterbacks.
So after the receivers max out and do this thing, which get what you can. I'm not upset about it. If they're going to pay you, good for you. What's the next position that's going to do it?
Got to be offensive line, right? Got to be left tackles.
Got to be left tackles. Yep.
Got to be left tackles.
So as this happens more and more, that's because of salary cap and stuff. That's less money for other positions, right?
And that's the question: is what kind of bind is this going to put teams in? Right now, I've made the argument for years: the salary cap's not real. All right, I mean it is real, but it's not real. There are ways to work around it. We've seen teams do it. Remember 3, 4, 5 weeks ago when we were still waiting to see where Deshaun was going to go, and we've got names out there like DK Metcalf, and we had people going, "Oh, Rob, the Saints are in cap hell. You can't do anything." The Saints have more available cap room right now than like all but 4 or 5 other teams in the league. Good GM can work you around a bad cap number. But at the end of the day, there still is only X amount of available money, man. And wide receivers now want their share. Which, again, as Lonzo said, get the bag. If they're going to pay you, take the money. I get it. I ain't mad at you for it. But the NFL is about to bump into an issue with these wide receivers getting the money they want, especially considering there are names that are talking about holding out. And if you're Arizona right now, what do? If Kyler wants a contract, probably not that is Deshaun money, but that rivals it, right? That gets into the neighborhood. If he wants Aaron Rodgers money, the problem you have here is there's going to come a point where a really good quarterback is going to go, I want this, and a team for the first time is going to go, no. No, we're not giving that to you. We don't have it. It's not that we don't think you're worth paying, it's that we don't have it, and that quarterback's going to go somewhere else. The problem is the NFL has created a league that is dependent on the quarterback.
See, I don't think it'll ever happen for quarterbacks. I do think it'll happen for every other position, including receivers, but I don't think that it ever will happen for quarterbacks because they are that valuable.
They are that valuable. The league has been built to where if you don't have a quarterback, you can't succeed. Who is the last not good? Who's the last not great quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Some people are going to argue it was Matt Stafford last year.
No,
I don't.
No. Matt Stafford's too good. If you don't think Matt Stafford's good, you don't know football. But no, I would say, I don't know. We want to go Trent Dilfer. Who was
Brad Johnson with the Bucks?
Baltimore. Who was the jumped around a bunch of places? I can't remember his name. The Ravens quarterback that won the Super Bowl. White dude, got a bunch of money. And
I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to remember.
So that's pretty sad.
Lonzo would say Tom Brady. Mark Ripien won a Super Bowl with Washington.
Yeah.
Was that back in 90? I don't even remember. Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl. And that was 94, 5. Doug Williams won a Super Bowl. Jim Plunkett won a Super Bowl, and Trent Dilfer.
So you haven't found the Ravens quarterback.
I don't remember.
I can't believe I can't remember his name.
The point is, the reality is that the NFL has created a league where you must have a top-tier quarterback, which means that effectively every time a top-tier quarterback signs a new contract, there's going to be a new record. The problem is
Joe Flacco.
Sir, Joe Flacco is elite. The internet told me.
Yeah, 2012.
Joe Flacco is elite.
Yeah, Keegan had it too. I should have looked at the. It's Flacco. I think Flacco is the most recent non-talented quarterback.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean that tells you how relevant Joe Flacco was. Remember all those other guys.
That's a movie quarterback name. Joe Flacco, Shane Falco, and Joe Flacco. I did see a dude this weekend wearing a Shane Falco jersey.
I want one so bad.
I shook his hand. I genuinely shook his hand. You've created a league so dependent on quarterbacks that other positions are going, wait a minute. You guys are bumping quarterback pay money by 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 money. But it's us who are making them shine, right? It's us. It's DK. Debo's in that list. Debo Samuel wants a new contract. You think, is there anybody who deserves more?
Give that man his money.
Yeah. A.J. Brown deserves that money. DK Metcalf deserves that money. Terry McLaurin deserves that money. Give it to him. Back after this. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Fan Upstate. Joe Flacco.
We could, and neither one of us could remember his name. I think he may still be in the league too.
Yeah, I'm great. We actually got to a record. Would have used the technicality.
He is currently with the New York Jets. Here's your fun stat of the day. You ready? Joe Flacco has the most career passing yards and touchdown passes for any quarterback to never make a Pro Bowl.
Okay.
That entertains me.
Still Super Bowl winning quarterback, you know? We can't remember his name.
Put some respect on his name and remember it. Hey, Mike.
Yo, Mike.
Hey, Mikey.
Hate to see you have some sort of accident.
Be a shame if something bad happened to you up on that ladder.
Say gust of wind should happen to come about.
I mean, what would happen if somebody just accidentally walked by and kicked that ladder on accident, huh?
Oops. Why is that red? That doesn't make sense. I didn't change the date on it. It's dumb. Just being dumb, Wide Orbit. Oh, now it's fixed. Weird. Pro Football Talk asked, could the Saints be eyeballing Kenny Pickett in round one? They haven't used a first rounder on a quarterback in the draft since Archie Manning in 1971.
Could they be? Yes.
But you guys got plenty of quarterbacks. I think Diesel will leave my signs up.
No, he's gonna say they look unprofessional and take them down.
Which was the
As if
whole.
that's not the joke.
That
right?
was the point. He'll blur the background, so it'll be all right. I mean, he can improve it. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, you did leave him the other word to do.
I did. Or you can find a marker and like color it in better. Got to be markers around here somewhere. There's a whiteboard downstairs. There would be markers for that whiteboard. Maybe I'll just swipe the whiteboard. That might be easier.
I don't hate that. Don't hate that. We'll do like Woody Page used to do and just change the message on it every day to something slightly more sarcastic.
Yeah. Although sarcasm not my strong suit.
No, I know.
I might come up with something.
Dance all night. How's everybody in the stream? How we doing, guys? We having a good Monday? I hope. You guys gonna come out and do the show? We should have a live stream section at Hall of Fame Friday. You guys can just sit and yell at us like you would on the stream, but from chairs.
I don't know. Can we do? Are the capabilities there?
Put the stream on the stream.
You might be asking a lot, but we'll see. Something to explore. All right, it's time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet, and he tells everybody why it is trending. The first thing that is trending is testicle tanning.
Is a thing Lonzo just said on the radio. Testicle tanning. Now, I don't know why it's trending. I, as Alonzo pointed out earlier, am not clicking on it to
Yep.
find out.
I don't know why it's trending either, but it
Yeah.
still is, and I'm not clicking on it.
That being said, it's like every year people come up with more progressively weird ways to, I guess, become attractive. Guys, those things are already hideous as they are, all right? I mean, they're just not an attractive part of the anatomy. Darkening them up a little bit in the sunshine is not going to accomplish what I think you think it's going to accomplish. It's just not.
I'm just guessing sunshine is not involved, that it might be some sort of mini tanning bed.
Here's why I say that.
Like maybe a waffle iron or something.
During the pandemic, when people were losing their absolute minds, there was a trend of people going outside in the sunshine, Lonzo, removing the trunks, doing a little yoga to get in a position, putting both hands on one side of an anatomy, and showing where the sun don't shine to let the sun shine on it, and tanning that particular area of the body. If you don't know which area I'm talking about, it's the number 2 area of the body. All right? People were going out and tanning that
Thank God
part of the
this
body.
show is ending right now.
Yeah. I'm just saying, y'all, ain't nobody ever looked at either one of those body parts and thought, you know what? It's probably bad, but at least it's tanned, you know? At least it's not pale. It actually says, no, please, not the bits and pieces. Hey, I'm just saying, stay off Twitter today. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great rest of the day. I don't know how it's going to get better than Lonzo saying the words testicle tanning on the radio, but here we are. Have a great rest of your day. We're back tomorrow to try harder and not talk about that ever again. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. You're you. Thanks for sticking around on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. Bye, stream. See you tomorrow.